Hey YouTube, this is Zach with Achilles Financial. Today we're going to be looking at Baidu Inc. under the ticker symbol BIDU, B-I-D-U, and they trade on the NASDAQ. Today the reason I want to talk about them is because I've been watching Baidu for quite some time as they've continued to go up and down in terms of the charts. And you can see that even year to date, this is a stock that briefly touched $350 a share before slowing growth and the rotation from growth stocks to value stocks, combined with some of the sentiment towards Chinese companies right now, has overall dropped the price of Baidu down to right at $192, $193 a share. So what I'm looking at here and the play that I'm going to be walking through today is really a leap options trade for the company, looking from anywhere from December of this year to potentially as far out as June of next year. So this is a stock that when I eventually make this trade on the option side, or if I buy shares, I will let you know in the Discord, which the link to that is down below, as I do with every single one of my trades. As well as if you have any feedback over this company, feel free to leave a like and subscribe and then comment. So just thank you for watching the video, and let's dive into this. So Baidu is a company that owns a lot in the tech space in China. So this is a company that is very similar to a Google in terms of they offer a search engine platform as well as they have a number of cloud services. They're by no means the same size or nearly the same depth of experiences as Google offers, but they also are a little bit behind in terms of cloud services than Tencent or even ByteDance over in China. However, they do have a recent acquisition of Joy, which is similar to YouTube. So they are really building themselves into a Google-esque type of platform. Because of that, they have a lot going for them in terms of overall growth capabilities. That being said, if we look at some of the valuations associated with it, I'll look at the growth rates to showcase, and EPS is great, but it wasn't that great beforehand. But their revenue growth on a yearly basis, you can see that despite the fact that a lot of companies in the software space had a lot of growth over the course of the past 12 to 18 months, Baidu struggled to grow. Now you can see that on a 12-month basis, they were still growing, but they weren't doing so at quite the same rate as a lot of other companies in the software space. So this is what I'm going to be looking at going forward is, can they capitalize on some of the growth? Or at the bare minimum, are they a company that is going to be able to take some of the availability of some of that cash should China's stock sentiment change to a bit more positive, depending on what we're looking at from a global perspective. The reason why I think they're so undervalued is if you look at valuation, just to showcase some of the items on here, at a PE ratio of under 10 in the software space, I think that is huge potential right now for a company of this size, and especially one who is still growing. And one of the things that I want to highlight here is over the past 6 months I've talked about, it's been very hard for me to find undervalued companies currently outstanding. But with the price to sales ratio of under 4 and a price to earnings ratio of under 10, I think that there is a lot of potential for these stocks. Even if they just are able to get back to a PE ratio of 15, price to sales ratio of 5, that is a lot of upside. They have the capability to do so because, as you can see, if they can increase that top line revenue, they are taking a lot of money to the bottom line. You can see the net profit is actually significantly higher than most of the industry in this particular space. So what I'm going to be looking at, you can see here on the chart, is over the next 12 months, to get back to at or near the analyst price target of about $315 a share. The reason why I'm discussing that particular price target and highlighting that was because I mentioned earlier I'm going to be looking to utilize an option strategy called a leap, where you are buying a far out of the money option with still upside potential. And generally speaking, you're going to look at more than 1 year of time, but we're also going to be looking at some December timeframes associated with this company. So what you see here on my screen, I'm just using TD Ameritrade just to showcase some of the analyst reports that they have provided. Even the low side of what analyst, which generally speaking, I am not a huge analyst-based person, even the low side is 215, Most of the averages I've seen have been around that 315 mark, but we can even use 308 in our analysis. But there is a lot of upside, so there's still strong potential in the shares as well. Albeit, I did want to make sure I mention, I'm just some guy on YouTube, by no means a financial advisor, and what I'm telling you is what I am considering and purely for educational purposes. So now I want to take you over to TD Ameritrade's platform thinkorswim to showcase some of the potential for this company going forward in terms of options trading. So for those of you who are unfamiliar, this is the web version of thinkorswim, as you can see in the top left-hand corner of my screen. What I am going to be looking at is showcasing two different options that we can look at today. So what you see here on the screen is, strictly speaking, the year-to-date price action for Baidu stock on a weekly basis. I'm going to click on option trade right here and showcase the first really price target I'm looking at, which is the January 21 target. And for this one, I'm looking at the 230 option. So what this is right now, these prices right here are on the per share basis, and you are going to be buying essentially 100 shares of this stock. So right now this is saying if the stock is above $230 a share, this option will give me the right to purchase 100 shares at $230. That being said, I'm not buying this for the purpose of exercising that option and getting those shares, but rather I'm seeking for the total potential to actually purchase or sell my option at that point in time. So what I'm going to do is actually showcase this on one option as well as 10, just for overall investing styles. You have the capability to look at this. Keep in mind that options trading is incredibly risky, and if the stock were to decline to $100 a share or never reach a $230 price point, I would lose all of the money that would be invested in this option trade if I did not sell beforehand. So that being said, with an original investment of $1,080, you can see right here in the top left-hand corner of this grouping, you can see that we've got a total loss perspective of $1,080 if the price were to end during this point in time. And that being said, I have all the way till January 21st, 230 days from now. What I would be looking at is during this point in time, if the stock were to get to $230 a share right here, I would expect the stock or the value of this option, if this were to occur sometime within the next 1 to 2 months, the value of this option would be as much as double or triple. However, recognizing that I'm not going to speculate on that piece right here on screen because no one really knows that price, I will show you what happens if the stock is at $230 a share on the actual day. What you see here in the left-hand corner of the box that I have up is if the stock price is at $230 a share, then I would lose right at $1,020 because I paid $1,080, and even though that I am at the strike price, I am basically having the capability to purchase the shares at the price that I paid for. The reason I like this trade in particular is let's look what happens if the stock gets up to $250 a share. I have the capability to sell this for a profit of $991, which means out of my $1,080 investment, I would walk away with right at $2,150 or so dollars, which is right at nearly a 100% return. However, I'm bullish on the overall stock, and I do think that there's a lot of upside, and you can see that the farther the stock goes, then the more capabilities I have. This chart doesn't show that 315 price target, but if the stock were to get all the way up to $300 a share, you can see that I would walk away with right at probably $5,800 a share. This has a lot of capability. As you can see, the stock has already been at these levels before. If we were to see a lot of good news, or if we were to see a resurgence in value associated with their EV line, which is where this original run came from. So a lot of capabilities there. So this is the first trade, is the January 21st, 230 strike price. The other is I would actually look even farther out at June 17th, 2022 at the 280s. If you recall the price target that we looked at, this is a option that would cost $765 a share, and would give me more than 1 year of time. The price target by those analysts was $308 a share. If at any point in time during the next year, my current price of one option, if they were to hit $308 a share, I would walk away with right at $2,100 in value, which would be a 300% return on investment. Keep in mind though, I do have the capability of losing the $765 a share as well. However, just looking at this, I like the capability here because it shows the potential for 3xing my money, and I have a lot of time and value here. And if the stock were to shoot up to 230 or 240 during this next year, I still have plenty of time to make decisions on whether or not I would like to sell. So for that reason, I like the options potential here. Options trading is a smaller piece of my portfolio compared to my actual shares, but I like to use options to be a little bit more aggressive. To highlight some of the potential here in terms of using this leverage, if I were to do that same exact option with 10, it would cost me $7,650, which I know a number of you who watch these videos invest with more money than I do, especially in the options side. But to showcase, this would give you a year of time if you were to hold the shares when they went from the current price of $193 all the way up to the $308 that I am mentioning. Then you would walk away with a gain of right at $110, $115 a share. However, this capability, you can 3x your money and you're walking away with $21,000 of profit, which means you have a nearly $30,000 play in terms of the total allocation of the profit plus original investment. So there's a lot of capabilities here, but again, it gives you a lot of open-ended approach because the stock could go all the way up to 350 where we did see it hit. And in that example, if it were to go up to 350, that would be $50,000 return. So there's a lot of potential. There's a lot to like about this trade, and I will be looking to actually purchase one of these options. Haven't decided. If you want to track that, feel free to join the Discord in the description below. So if you would like to see more videos like this, let me know in the comments down below or in the Discord. And if you've made it this far, please leave a like and consider subscribing. I really appreciate it, and it helps with the YouTube algorithm. Thanks. Talk to you later.